In a video essay called Is Titanic Good Actually?, author and former YouTube essayist Lindsay Ellis said this: "There is a classicism inherent to criticisms like this. In effect, it's too many people like this. And even if you're too young to remember the backlash to Titanic, you can still probably feel it in the atmosphere. Like saying one of the most successful movies in history is good actually is a ding against your credibility. Are the masses really that stupid, that if they like the thing, it must mean that the thing is bad actually?" This thought has been nagging at me for the better part of the past several weeks, in part because of a certain popular anime that ended in the past 12 months. I'm leaving it unnamed because the anime itself is not what's important, but have fun figuring out which one I'm talking about. As is so often the case with any anime that gets widespread attention in the community, or beyond it depending on the property, you will inevitably see the deluge of people who insist that something being popular is bad, or that people are fools for liking it, or that they are easy to please. There is an eagerness to knock down the popular thing a peg because it somehow makes you stand apart from everyone else intellectually, even though having a contrary opinion is, in and of itself, not something to be that proud of. Even if the following is not said verbatim, you can taste the sentiment echoing through the print. I'm above this nonsense. I'm better than such drivel. It usually comes complete with some kind of reminder that the popularity of a thing, complete with the claim that users engage in score manipulation or create sock puppet accounts, doesn't mean the individual, which is a euphemism for the criticism's author, is wrong, usually in an attempt to shield themselves from whatever backlash comes their way. A truly articulate defense of a contrary opinion does not need to project a barrier between itself and the angry masses that will surely be coming. Let's set up a hypothetical scenario for a moment. Let's say one of their favorite properties is relatively obscure in the grand scheme of things. If all of a sudden they woke up and people all over loved it, would they be so keen as to say that too many people love it and that it is now souring their own enjoyment? I'm more inclined to believe that what they would say instead is, finally, people are seeing my way. They finally opened their eyes to the good thing. Because the truth is, for those who hold the popularity of something against it, popularity as a concept is only acceptable if it's for something you happen to love. After all, to attack a show for its popularity while also not using that same ridiculously arbitrary metric against a popular thing you happen to love is a phenomenal double standard. Mob Psycho 100 is fair game for bashing in this respect, but not One Punch Man. Code Geass is liable to be put under the knife, but not Mobile Suit Gundam. Everyone at some point takes it upon themselves to think that they are the moral guardian of good taste against the popular masses, but the sooner one abandons that notion, I wonder how much they'll be happier both with themselves, the media they consume, and the community at large. We also need to be clear about something. All reviews, in some way, have an egotistical center, and I readily include my own work in that. It does indeed take a somewhat inflated sense of self or confidence to think that your opinion is so important that people should stop and listen. God knows that I've been accused of not knowing how to have fun based on my own work, but that's the kind of reception you have to brace yourself for and accept as part of criticism writing, especially if you know that you're writing something that stands apart from the popular consensus. But to spend so much time worrying about why something is ranked so highly, to have the audacity to think why people like something popular and that they are all morons for doing so, to feel the need to condescend to your audience or that they've somehow gone astray and need rescuing, I must ask, what is actually being gained here really? People liking something or something becoming popular does not magically change the content of the thing itself. No matter how many people like it, K-On! Is not changing its episode content. No matter how many people like it, Neon Genesis Evangelion is not changing its episode content. And no matter how many people like it, Puella Magi Madoka Magica is not changing its episode content. There is a certain kind of sad irony in the insistence on your personalized take that happens to be contrary, while also disparaging the personalized takes of others that so happen to be similar to others. What does it matter how many people share the same opinion that differs from you? I surmise that part of this is because picturing oneself up against a monolithic they is more internally grandiose or romantic, feeding into a sense of self-affirmation. I'm very well aware that this entire video could be construed in the exact same way as myself standing against a particular type of cynically critical behavior. Trust me, that is not lost on me. There is one distinction that I at least hope is clear. Whether you like or dislike a popular thing is not what's important. What matters more than anything is the manner by which you present yourself as you hold that opinion, and that a thing's popularity does not translate to something being good or bad, nor is it a sign by default of the community's ravenous hive mind or conspiratorial cabal. Yes, there are absolutely some who will read a review purely for the grade or number you assign, skipping to the video's timestamp or scrolling down to the bottom of the page to see that, and leave a like or dislike based purely on that metric alone. As I said, that's a reality that must be accepted. But saying a show is bad because it's popular, hinting that something being popular is a sign of failure on the show or community's part, or having to so consciously defend your opinion and condescend to your audience's intelligence, is not a hill I find worth dying on. I'd make the case that, quite frankly, it's not even worth talking about unless you're making something tracking a franchise's timeline or life, because that is something that popularity does in fact factor into. Spin-offs, potential installments, and the like. Does that mean that mean score or average or a popularity ranking should be taken as sacrosanct? Goodness no. Holding true to one's own convictions most definitely matters more so than whatever mean score something is, and I believe that sincerely. But we need to abandon this idea that popular art cannot be good, that not frequently watched things are gold mines, maybe they're not frequently watched for a reason, and that something can indeed be simple and still stand on its own. The sooner we stop taking mean score so personally, or using it as some kind of critical barometer, the better off we'll all be, especially the critics.